Yo, it's your boy Jay Best, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 2, episode 17. Y'all, today's episode is going to be very short and very sweet. All I'm going to do is talk about the Steelers and how the struggle is continuing in Pittsburgh, and then I'm going to talk about another Pennsylvania team, the Eagles. The struggles also continuing with that team as well, a team that I picked to go win the Super Bowl, and then I'm going to end this episode with my Week 16 picks. All right. Today's episode is very short. Like I said, I don't want to take up a lot of y'all time because I know y'all spending it with family. I know it's the holiday season. Y'all got a lot of events and plans, a lot of things going on right now. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. Trust me, I got a lot of things going on. That's why I haven't done an episode this week. And this is the first one I'm doing for this week, right? So let's go ahead and let's get straight to the point, y'all. Today, I want to talk about the Steelers first. All right, the Steelers first. And we've been in the news a lot lately, a lot with Mike Tomlin. A lot of people saying that it's time for him to move on because his message is getting stale. They think that the team's not really buying into him anymore because he's been there so long, and it's just they think it's time for a change of scenery, not only for Mike Tomlin but for the Steelers. And like I said, I'm saying that this is what ESPN is saying. This is what Fox Sports people. This is what sports media is saying about Pittsburgh right now. I don't. How do I put this without trying to sound like I know everything? Because I think we're over analyzing this whole Pittsburgh situation. With in all honesty, I think that we're looking for a deeper reason why this team is struggling, why this team has lost 4 of the past 5 games, why this team has lost 3 straight games, why my team has lost 3 straight games. I think we're over analyzing it, trying to see if it's a locker room issue and if Mike Tomlin's not getting the job done anymore. Last time I checked, I never heard of a coach that got talked about for being fired at 7-7. Right. Normally, when a coach is in the news for being fired, they're just their record is way below 500. Right, or you're underachieving with a team that's very talented. Like I looked at 2 coaches this year that got fired. All right. And these 2 coaches, one of them was just bad, right? The team got worse ever since he got there. We're talking about Josh McDaniels, right? He's been there for 2 years, and the team just got worse and worse and worse. And eventually they said, you know what, you're not doing us any good. Goodbye. He just underachieved, right? He just didn't get the job done. But then you look at people like Brandon Staley, who just got fired recently from the Chargers, who me and Logan came on this show and said multiple times that he needs to go. Even though they won a couple of games early in the season, we were still saying that he should not be there. He has a great roster, right? You look at Justin Herbert, you look at healthy Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler, and you look at the O line is not that bad. And you look at the defense, you look at Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Asante Samuel, Derwin James, Kenneth Murray. They have a lot of pieces around that team that you should be able to look at them and say, okay, it's going to be a playoff team at least, right? But he underperformed with that team with the great roster. Mike Tomlin doesn't fall under either category. His record is not bad right now. 7-7 is not terrible right now, right? It's not what we want to be. It's not what we should be, right? But it's not bad at all, right? 500. To me, people are really underrating the whole multiple years being above 5. He's never had a losing season. People are looking over that. That means a lot. Look at Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick doesn't have that record. He's one of the best coaches of all time, right? But Mike Tomlin does, he's consistent, right? He might not have the playoff success that a lot of people want. Yes, he has a ring, but in the past 7 years, I think we don't even have a playoff win, right? So looking at that, of course, you want him to do better. But in all honesty, over the past couple of years, what Steelers team did y'all look at and say they're going to win a Super Bowl? I'll wait because there's only 2 teams that we had in the past couple of years, recent memory, that you can say argue. You can argue that we were supposed to go to the Super Bowl that year. One year we lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars in the divisional round, I believe. Okay, Jacksonville when Blake Bortles came out and played a game of his life against us. We underperformed that game. We played down to our competition. We lost that game. All right, and then the year when we went to the AFC Championship and lost to Tom Brady and the Patriots, that was another year that we were supposed to go. So those are the only 2 years that I would sit back and say, okay, we underachieved. The other years, I never looked at my team as a Super Bowl contender. I never did. Going into this season, I told y'all the Steelers, their goal, right, their ceiling is to make the playoffs and win at least a game. That's what I said. That's what I predicted. When we made our playoff picture and everything, I said, okay, Steelers will get in the playoffs. They might win a game, and then it's over with. because our team is not that great right now. And I was also hoping that Kenny Pickett made a year two leap, like all the other quarterbacks do, or most quarterbacks do, most first round quarterbacks do. They get better the second year. Well, Kenny Pickett took a leap backwards, right? He got worse. So with that being said, if he got worse, right, then your expectations have to go down because your team goes as the quarterback go. The quarterback is the most important position on the field. It's the most important position in all of sports. So if you don't have a quarterback, 9 times out of 10, you're in trouble. And the teams that don't have a great quarterback have good OCs and have good offensive play callers. Look at the Rams. Matthew Stafford is not elite anymore, but you have Sean McVay calling plays, right? Look at with the Cleveland Browns. Kevin Stefanski is an offensive mind, and look at he has Joe Flacco looking pretty good right now. Right, you look at the Bengals with Jake Browning right now. Zach Taylor is an offensive minded coach. So most of the teams that have average to below average quarterbacks, they at least have an elite or a pretty good offensive play caller that can kind of balance things out. You can kind of help the quarterback out a little bit. But in our case, we don't have a good quarterback and we don't have a play caller. Okay, so with Kenny Pickett getting worse this year, right? He's bad. Like I'm being honest with you, as a Steelers fan, I thought he would be better than what he is right now. The only good thing that Kenny Pickett does is take care of the football. And you want to know why the Steelers have looked so bad over the past couple of weeks? It's because we turn the football over now that Mitch Trubisky is in the game. Mitch Trubisky will throw an interception at least per game. I think he has every game he played. I think the Cardinals game he threw a pick, the Patriots game he threw a pick, and then last week against the Colts he threw multiple picks. Right. So I told y'all the way we win games this year is the Steelers got to make 5 plays on defense, whether it's turnovers, sacks, whether it's a touchdown, whatever it is, 5 plays to win the game. But if we make a play and turn around and turn the ball over, then what's the point? The only thing that was saving us early this year is that Kenny Pickett would not turn the ball over, right? He don't throw picks, he don't fumble. Okay, so that helped us because when we made those plays on defense, we was at least getting a field goal, or worst case scenario, we was punting it back to the other team, not giving it back as a turnover. All right, so with Kenny Pickett, with Mitch Trubisky being in the lineup over the past couple of weeks, it's really made us look worse than what we looked earlier, how we looked earlier in the season. So that's why he's benched. He's not playing today, right? Today we played the Cincinnati Bengals at home, and Mason Rudolph is starting because Mitch has been turning the ball over. That's been the real concern about Mr. Trubisky. But Kenny Pickett did not turn the ball over. He would not throw a pick, but he would not throw touchdowns either because Joe Flacco has more passing touchdowns than Kenny Pickett. Joe Flacco has played like 3 games, 2 games really, and already has more passing touchdowns than Kenny Pickett. Tommy DeVito has more passing touchdowns than Kenny Pickett. So when you look at a team and the quarterback is the biggest question mark, that team really don't have a chance if you really think about it. Like going into the season, I know the 49ers, everybody kind of questioned Brock Purdy. Was it beginner's luck? Because we all know he's Mr. Irrelevant, et cetera, et cetera. But he has so much around him that he was a question mark. But in reality, right, that question mark wasn't that big because we knew what was around him. With Kenny Pickett, we needed him to be at least average, at least. Right, because look at Jimmy Garoppolo last year with the 49ers. Well, I'm sorry, year before last with the 49ers, or even his years in San Francisco. He's average, maybe below average, but he has a great offensive play caller and he has good players around him. Kenny Pickett, we needed him to at least be a Jimmy Garoppolo, at least be Jimmy G, but he's worse than that, y'all. Kenny Pickett, honestly, is one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL this year. And like I said, I came into this season just hoping he would get better, but he got worse. He got worse, so the team got worse, and now you're seeing it day in and week in and week out with this team. So a lot of people are pointing the finger at Mike Tomlin, and to me, if you don't have a quarterback, you don't really have a chance in this league. Like, when I say that, I don't mean you need an elite quarterback. You don't need one. What you need is a quarterback that can sustain drives, won't turn the ball over, and will get you in good field position for field goals, and will get you in the end zone every now and then. I don't need a Mahomes. I don't need a Jalen Hurts. I don't need a Josh Allen. What I need is a quarterback that can keep drives alive. Because people like to say, "Well, the Steelers have a good defense. What's going on with the defense?" When the offense keep going 3-and-out, consecutive 3-and-outs. This past week against the Colts, Mike Tomlin said, we're going to accept the ball. We won the coin toss. They said, we're going to receive the ball. He tried to put a little confidence in Mr. Trubisky in the offense. I understood it 100%. We went 3-and-out. Just like that, 3-and-out. A lot of drives, we went 3-and-out, and the defense keeps going out there, and they're getting tired. and you can see it because teams just start running the ball on us. That's why our yardage it looks so bad because teams just running the ball on us. Teams just wearing us down, hitting us over the top because we tired and we want to push up because we're struggling against the run. So they throw it over our heads. That's why our defense struggles because the offense keep putting them back on the field consecutively, like down, like drive after drive after drive. We're going three and out, and the defense is getting worn out. That's why our defense does not look as good as it really is. And it starts with the quarterback. Everything that I've said so far has to do with our bad quarterback play. Our whole entire QB room is bad, right? So if you want to point the finger at anybody, we got to point the finger at Kenny Pickett because you didn't get better, you got worse, which is a bad thing. And then you look at the front office. Omar Khan, our new GM, he has to make a move this upcoming offseason. He has to because I cannot see us going forward with Kenny Pickett. I just can't see it happening because he is hurting us more than he is helping us. He is not the reason why we win games. We was at one point in the season we was 7-4. Okay, 7-4, and we lost three straight games to Arizona, to the Patriots, and now to the Colts. So we were 7-4, and I was 7-7. We were 7-4. Kenny Pickett was not winning us games, but he also wasn't losing games. If that makes sense, he wasn't throwing interceptions. Mitch Trubisky throws picks. So that's why we've looked so bad over the past couple of weeks. So we keep hearing the Mike Tomlin thing and Mike Tomlin this, Mike Tomlin that. But in all honesty, it's not Mike Tomlin. I'm telling you that right now. It is our bad quarterback play. It's not even average. It's below average. Like watching our team play, it's a pain for me offensively. Like I love to see our defense play, but eventually the defense starts to suffer from the bad offensive play. So now you don't want to see neither side of the ball. Like this is it's I think people are just over analyzing this. Like people on TV, I know you want to sound smart and you want to throw numbers out there, right? You want to say, well, this player under this condition and this player with this many stats and all. You want to dig deep and you want to sound sophisticated. You want people to say, oh, he really know what he's talking about. When in reality, the answer to what the Steeler problem is, we don't have a quarterback. That's literally the answer. Like there is no read between the lines, and no, we don't have a quarterback, and that's affecting the whole entire team. You want to talk about attitudes and people struggling in the locker room. When you play for a team and you busting your butt every day and you coming to work to do what you got to do, um, it gets frustrating when you know that my quarterback is so bad that I don't have faith in this team. I don't have faith in this organization because the leader, the most important position, like I said, in all of sports, the most important position in football, the highest paid position in football, is the worst position on the team. That is a problem. And to me, that can put some weight on people's shoulders in the organization when I know that my quarterback not getting me nowhere, right? That has to do with that can lead to frustration. All right, so that's what I think is going on with that's what I know is what's going on with the Steelers, right? A lot of people are really making me mad because they're trying to point the finger at Mike Tomlin. No, point the finger at the quarterback first. Okay, because the QB is what is putting us in this bad situation. We're putting us in these bad scenarios. And unfortunately, the panic button has been pressed. I pressed the panic button when we went up 13-0 against the Colts, and Demonte KZ, for those of y'all that saw that hit, he got ejected out the game. And I want to say Minka got hurt as well in that game. And I was like, okay, this is not looking too good because offensively, we're not doing anything. We scored because of a blocked punt, right? And then one drive we actually got down the field. But other than that, we wasn't in the red zone at all the rest of that game because our offense is just not good because of the quarterback position. Like Najee Harris is not a bad running back. Jaylen Warren is not a bad running back. Deontay Johnson and George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth, we have weapons. But if you don't have a quarterback, that means nothing. And when I say we don't have a quarterback, I mean Kenny Pickett is bad. Y'all, I was like, he's garbage. Garbage truck juice. That's what he is. All right. And it took me a while to realize that because I was trying to say, okay, he gonna get back to what he was at the end of the year last year. Because I promise y'all, he did not look this bad. So the blame is not Mike Tomlin. The blame is Kenny Pickett. I'm telling you that right. Kenny Pickett, Mr. Trubisky, and hopefully Mason Rudolph looks a little bit. If he can look just a little bit better than what Mitch looked like over the past couple of weeks, then I'll be satisfied. Win or loss. So the panic button has been pressed. I'm panicking as a Steelers fan myself, and playoffs are not looking too good right now. If we do make the playoffs, this is A+ job done by Mike Tomlin because of the bad quarterback play in Pittsburgh right now. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next. So that real quick, Eagles, broken wings, y'all. Look, the Eagles have been unraveling as of late, right? They have not been looking good. They've lost, I want to say three straight games, right? Looking at the 49ers, the Cowboys, and then they lost to the Seahawks on Monday Night Football. This team is simple, man. Man up. As simple as that. Man up. Because I keep telling y'all this every single week, man. I look at this team and I see dogs. I see elite talents, right? And they underperform every single week. So I want Jalen Hurts to hear what I gotta say, because one of my friends actually pointed this out. He told me that ever since I made that video saying that Jalen Hurts is the best QB in the league, they lost 3 straight games, and over those 3 straight games that they lost, he has not looked good at all. Right? So my friend want to blame me for what's going on with the Eagles right now, but nah, I'm not gonna blame me. I'm gonna blame Jalen Hurts. All right, Jay Hurts, look, you don't look comfortable right now. I saw it in the Dallas Cowboys game, and I saw it against the Seahawks. The Seahawks he had the flu, right? But I'm not gonna make that an excuse, because if you got the flu, bro, sit out. Don't play. Don't be Superman, because maybe a fully healthy Marcus Mariota can be more productive than a Jalen Hurts with the flu. Right, so you probably hurt your team more than you helped them by playing in that game on Monday night against the Seahawks. But Jalen Hurts, I want you to hear this, man. Look, people are turning their backs on you right now, right? You had our attention for a little bit, right? From the Super Bowl to like midway through this season, you had our attention a little bit. But now people trying to bring up the turnovers and starting to say you don't look the same, and starting to say you look bad. Look, bro, I need you to wake up, okay? And no, and do it for Philadelphia, the city of Philadelphia. Do it for Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce came back because of you, because you showed us last year that in the Super Bowl, you went toe to toe. I keep bringing this up because it's such an important, this was a very important page in the Jalen Hurts book. When he outplayed Mahomes in the biggest game in all of America, the biggest game in all of sports, on the biggest stage, in the biggest game, you outperform who a lot of people are saying is the best quarterback to ever play the game. You did that. So we all saw this team as, you know what, they have that guy at QB. So they're going to be able to make noise next year and get back to where they were and pick up where they left off. Well, as of late, right, earlier this year, I was defending you because your stats wasn't looking great, right? This is when I brought the Tom Brady comparison, right? Tom Brady to Jalen Hurts. I brought that comparison. Well, as of late, you've been having the bad numbers, the not so good numbers, and you've been losing versus having the not so good numbers. But in the fourth quarter, you thrive. Over the past couple of weeks, fourth quarter, you haven't done nothing. All right, so Jalen Hurts, I need you to be that guy that I know that you are. All right, and Philadelphia as a whole, um, defensively, James Bradbury, maybe Debo Samuel was right. You're trash. You're garbage. Maybe that's right. Because I watched that Seahawks game and I saw DK Metcalf beat you. And later on in that same drive, y'all know that they need a touchdown to win the game. They can't get a field goal. They need a touchdown. You got beat twice. One by DK Metcalf and one by JSN. You said you get a catch and you get a catch. That's exactly like Oprah Winfrey, just giving out everything, giving out catches to everybody, because that's how bad you looked in that game. All right. So James Bradbury, I need you to wake up. You was all pro last year. I believe you your first team all pro last year. Wake up. All right, please wake up and make some plays. All right. This team is not, I'm trying to tell you, people are turning their back on this team. Just like they turned their back on the 49ers. 49ers lost 3 straight games. I came up here and I told y'all, look, the 49ers are just fine. I didn't want to listen. But the Eagles, I'm telling y'all, man, it's not looking good right now. But this is a team that can literally flip the switch in a heartbeat. But I need a couple of things to happen for them to reinstill that trust, that like I come up here and I pound the table, that kind of trust. You know what I'm saying? Like I trust that this team will get the job done, but it's not as strong as it was a couple of weeks ago, if that makes sense. So I'm not giving up on them, but I am a little bit worried. I am a little bit concerned. So what I'm saying is I need y'all to put up 30 in every single game over the next couple of weeks. Y'all play the Giants twice and y'all play the Cardinals. I need y'all to put up 30 points. If y'all don't put up 30 points in every single game, I will be a little worried. Actually, very worried going into the playoffs. All right, because you don't get a game to kind of see where you are. You're playing really three bad teams, right? The Giants twice and the Arizona Cardinals. So you really can't assess yourself. You really can't see if you fix certain things, or you can't really see if you gotten better in certain areas if you're playing bad teams, right? It's really hard to um, see what you're doing wrong when you're playing against bad teams, because you're just a better team. So you should beat all three of these teams, even if you have a bad game, right? So I need y'all to put up 30 in every single one of these games in order for me to really come up here, pound the desk, and say they're going to the Super Bowl and they're going to win it. Because right now, the 49ers look like they are the team to beat. It used to be the Eagles. Now it's like the 49ers are, right? So, Philly, look, not only am I asking y'all to do this for me, because look, the only way that this thing grow, that this podcast grow, is if y'all see that I know what I'm talking about. And if I came up here and I kept saying that the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, I need y'all to go to the Super Bowl. It's as simple as that, to get my credibility up. So do it for me. All right, do it for Philly. Do it for the Philly fans. All right, do it for Jason Kelce, who came back another year to play for this team. Do it for Lane Johnson, who's probably 1 foot out the door. Do it for me, please. All right, I really need this credibility, man. People looking at me like I don't know what I'm talking about, and I know what I'm talking about. That's why I'm doing this podcast. All right, so right now I need the Eagles. Jalen Hurts to start with you. I need you to play better, man. I need you to. All right, play like the Jalen Hurts that I saw last year. Play like the Jalen Hurts that I saw throughout this year. Like I said, the numbers don't point at it, but I saw you against adversity rise above and make plays at the end of every single game that y'all won early this season. That's why I gave you that Brady comparison. All right, so the Eagles' wings right now looking pretty broken, but I do believe they can be repaired and they can fly again and fly right into the playoffs on a hot little win streak. They can win these 3 games against the Cardinals, the Giants twice. Like I said, I need 30 points in every single game in order for me to get my full 100% confidence back. All right, because right now I am a little worried about Philadelphia. All right. So next we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna end this thing with my week 16 picks. All right. I want to let y'all know how I did, how I've been doing this year. It's not bad at all. It's really a pretty good record if you ask me. Um, Let me see real quick. Y'all give me 1 second. Here we go. All right, so remember that me and Logan had began this year. We started doing this pick'em league, right? And we have our records are saved throughout the whole entire year. Right now, Logan is 147 and 76, so he's got 147 games right, 76 wrong. Me, I got 136 right with 89 wrong. So Logan kind of built a little lead, right? But it's definitely not over. And this week, I got a couple of upsets that can help me get back into this thing, because I know Logan probably did not pick these teams. So I did pick the Rams on Thursday night against the Saints. They ended up winning that game 30-22. Games start today, right? So we are at that time of year where the NFL starts putting games on Saturdays. They start getting us game Thursday, Saturday, and then Sunday, Monday. So it's football all throughout the week. So make sure y'all tune in and enjoy. So the first game tomorrow, or today, sorry, the first game today is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Bengals. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. I'm gonna pick Pittsburgh, man. This is why. It's not because I'm a Steelers fan. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I've never seen the Steelers lose 4 straight games. I don't think in my 21 years of living, um, when I was capable of like understanding football. So I'm not talking about 4 years old and like that. I'm talking about like maybe from 8 years old, 9 years old to now. I've never seen us lose 4 straight games. I've never seen it. Right? You might be able to pull it up and say we did, but I don't remember seeing us lose 4 straight games. So I'm just going based off that. And I'm going with Pittsburgh to win this game at home against Cincinnati. And mind you, Pittsburgh did beat Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago. So I'm hoping that they can get the job done again. All right, we got the Bills and the Chargers. I got to go with the Bills. The Bills are hot right now, and I told you I think they are a team that can sneak into the playoffs and make a lot of noise. I thought it was between once again the Steelers, the Texans, the Bills, and the Broncos. All right, so the Bills are looking like they are definitely going to get that playoff spot in the wild card and wreak havoc in the playoffs, man. So I got to go with the Bills against the Chargers on Sunday. Now we're on Sunday, so tomorrow, today it's only 2 games today, and then tomorrow the rest of the games will be played. The Colts and the Falcons. I'm gonna go with the Colts, man. The Colts. Shane Steichen has done a great job with this team, and I love what I'm seeing from Gardner Minshew. Right, he's not the starting quarterback, but he's playing like one. He's playing like a starting quarterback, unlike somebody I know, Kenny Pickett, and Mr. Trubisky, of course. So the Indianapolis Colts, I'm gonna go with them over Atlanta. Atlanta, look, Bijan Robinson, I don't know what's going on with him and Coach Arthur Smith, because Arthur Smith, I think Bijan fumbled one time last week, and Arthur Smith has pulled him from the game and did not give him no more touches. You know how I know? Because I have him in fantasy for crying out loud, and I lost one of my fantasy games. He had 0.6 points. 0.6 points. We're talking about Bijan Robinson, a first round pick, a top 10 pick at that, a player that we all thought was going to be the leader of this offense. He ain't get no touches because he fumbled the ball. All right, so Arthur Smith, thanks a lot. I lost the playoffs in one of my fantasy leagues, so I appreciate it, Atlanta. So because of that, I'm not going for y'all. I'm going with the Colts. All right, make me sick. Next, we got the Seattle Seahawks at the Tennessee Titans. I'm going with the Tennessee Titans. I'm going with the upset here. All right, I think this is one of them Derrick Henry games, right? We thought last week was going to be a Derrick Henry game because normally against the Texans, Derrick Henry runs wild. All right, but I think this week he's going to run wild against the Seahawks. Seahawks run defense is not that great, so I'm going with Derrick Henry over the Seahawks. Seahawks just beat the Eagles, right? But I could care less. I'm going with the upset Titans at home over Seattle. Next, I got the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going with Detroit. All right, Detroit is the better team. Minnesota with Nick Mullins. I'm just not a with Nick Mullins. Sorry, I'm not. I'm just not a believer. I think this team is unraveling as well. They lost that game last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. They were supposed to win that game, but he lost that game. I think that's just going to lead to a bad ending for this season. So I'm going to go with Detroit at Minnesota. All right, next I got the Commanders and the Jets. All right, give me the Jets, man. Look, the Commanders to me, they just need to start over from scratch. I think they have a quarterback in Sam Howell, but build the line. He has pretty good weapons, not bad weapons, but the defense is atrocious. So I think Ron Rivera might be fired this year. Eric Bieniemy might get fired this year, so they need to start from scratch. So I think that the Jets, even though they've had poor QB play as well, just like Pittsburgh, I do think that their defense can just shut out the Washington Commanders versus the Jets might be able to get a field goal or two. So I'm looking at a very low scoring, ugly game, but I got the Jets. All right, next we got the Packers and the Panthers. I'm going with the Packers. The Panthers just not ready to win right now. They got a win last week against Atlanta, but I think in general, they're just not ready to win games. All right, so I can't. I do not have faith picking them against anybody. So I got to go with the Packers in Carolina. As we got Cleveland and Houston, CJ Stroud is not playing, and I think last week they got away with that against Tennessee, who's not really a good defense versus the Browns are a really good defense. The Browns really might make the playoffs, and I counted them out as soon as Deshaun got hurt. So their defense is playing really good right now, and Joe Flacco is not looking bad either. So I'm going to go with the Browns in this game. Like I said, better defense than Tennessee, and Joe Flacco is probably just a little bit better than Will Levis at this very moment. All right, so let me go with Cleveland. Next, I got to go with the Jaguars and the Bucks. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars, okay, in Tampa Bay. I really was scratching my head on this pick because Jacksonville is one of them teams that I say I don't know about, and I still don't know because they've been losing games lately. Ever since I said that, I think they've lost three straight now. I want to say Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Baltimore last week. That's what I want to say. I think they lost three straight. So, hey, I don't know, but um, actually, I'm gonna change that pick. Let me go with Tampa Bay at home. All right, I'm not a believer in Jacksonville. I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. I'm gonna go with Shake and Bake, and hopefully Baker Mayfield put on the show because I'm starting him in another one of my fantasy leagues in the playoffs. So I need a big game from him. So I'm gonna try to get good vibes aligned. I need Baker the ball, so I'm gonna pick the Buccaneers. All right, I'll get the Buccaneers over the Jags. Unless we got the Cardinals and the Bears, I'm going with the Bears at home. The Cardinals, both of these teams are not really good. Both of these teams are looking forward to the future versus the present. And the Bears actually played a good game against the Cleveland Browns last week. Almost won that game. Darnell Mooney drops the Hail Mary that ends up being an interception. So I'm going to go with the Bears on a bounce back against a weak Arizona Cardinals team. Next, we got the Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins. This is the Bully Bowl. Okay, both of these teams love to beat up on the small teams. When they play good teams, they get they butts handed to them. All right, we saw Dallas last week get killed by the Bills. We saw Miami lose to Tennessee. week before last, but Miami has not beaten a team over 500, and Dallas has not beaten a team over 500 on the road, right? So it's a game of bullies. I don't believe in neither one of these teams, but I'm gonna go with Miami because they're at home, and I know Dallas really struggles on the road, but I also know that Miami can run the ball a little bit. And Dallas seems to have trouble with teams that can run the ball effectively. So I'm gonna go with Miami. All right. Then Sunday night on Christmas Eve, we got the Patriots and the Broncos. It's gonna be a boring game, probably a low scoring game. I'm gonna go with the Broncos at home. I think last week they got embarrassed on primetime television against the Detroit Lions, but I think it's a good bounce back week against the New England Patriots. Next, we got the Raiders and the Chiefs. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. All right, the Chiefs had a pretty good game last week. I think this week they're just going against a weak Raiders team. Still don't know about the Chiefs. I'm not confident in them. Still a question mark, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs anyway. Just they're just a better team at this moment. All right. Next, I gotta go with the Giants and the Eagles. This is also Christmas. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Like I said, I need 30 points. I need a 30-point game. Not don't win by 30 points, but put up 30 points. And I need this offense to start putting up points in order for me to get my full 100% confidence back in the Philadelphia Eagles. Then on Christmas night, we have the 49ers and the Ravens. All right. I'm going to go with the 49ers in this one. It's in San Francisco. And the Baltimore Ravens, y'all, I'm just not buying to the hype. They've been winning a lot of games lately, but a couple of them games you can argue did not look like dominant wins. Did not look like they are a number one seed kind of team. We saw them against the Rams a couple of weeks ago. The Rams get them to run for their money. The Rams are a sneaky good team, but if you are that number one seed, you should not be struggling against the sneaky good teams, in my opinion. Right. So I'm going to go to the 49ers, and the 49ers have the better all around team. Brock Purdy at this moment, this season, is playing better than Lamar Jackson. Okay, Lamar Jackson is playing good off the stat sheet, right? The things he's doing in the game does not translate to the stat sheet because his stats don't look too great right now. So Lamar's playing good, but stat wise, Brock Purdy is liking the lead up. He might be the MVP this year. So I'm just going to go with the 49ers against the Baltimore Ravens, y'all. And that is it for today's episode of the Straight to the Point podcast. Like I said, I don't want to hold y'all too long. Hopefully, that wasn't too long. But I do want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I pray that y'all, I'm praying that y'all holidays are going just as good as mine. Spending time with the family is one of the most important things in the world to me. So I suggest and I highly recommend that y'all do that, all right? Because this is the season to just get close with your fam, enjoy the vibes, and just chill out and laugh and just have a good time, man. It's that time of year, my favorite time of the year. On Christmas Day, I will be posting some videos on Instagram, Facebook, and even on my YouTube shorts. I will be doing some short little little videos like my best 5 Christmas songs, best 5 Christmas movies. So y'all be tuned for that. But until next week, y'all stay blessed, man. And I'll do my next episode next week. Talking about football. I'm gonna get back into it a little more. It's just around Christmas time, so I'm really spending a lot of time with the fam. All right. So much love. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay blessed. Have a Merry Christmas. And I'll see y'all next week. I'm out.